Hey guys, I'm back, and this time I'm doing a breakdown of all the stuff that I found in the new Sonic the Hedgehog Movie 2 trailer. And I have my work cut out for me tonight because I have to edit this and all that. 2 videos in less than, 3 hours? So let's get right in. So the trailer opens up on a shot of Seattle, Washington, and then we see Sonic just looking down at some cop cars rolling by, and then he does some stretches and eats a chili dog. And then he just goes speeding through the streets until he catches up to the SWAT van and completely incapacitates the robbers who hijacked it. So then he drives it recklessly, almost hitting a person, and then out of the back of the van is, out comes a pipe bomb, I think it is. Wow, this movie's going dark. But yeah, that causes the sewers to explode or whatever, and then, Sonic poses at the moon, like Batman style, like he even says to Tom in the boat. And then we see him skateboarding around the house, being a little daredevil. And, if you look closely, it kind of looks like his spikes are arranged in the Mohawk style, kind of like from the 90s cartoon. Then we see this giant egg pod or whatever coming down from a satellite from space. It kind of reminds me of, in Avengers Age of Ultron, the Veronica Hulkbuster suit, how it would come down in pieces from space. This is kind of what it reminds me of. But then we see Dr. Robotnik come out of this thing later when it lands on Earth, so I'm wondering, is he in the egg pod satellite thing when it detaches? And then we got this really interesting shot of Tom and Maddie and Agent Walters, I believe his name was, from the first movie, and they're all with the Guardian Units of Nations, or GUN, from Sonic Adventure 2, and they're all looking up at this giant dark cloud with green electricity around it. I think this is supposed to be the Death Egg. We'll see more of this later in the trailer. And while all that's being shown, Tom is telling Sonic on a lake how Sonic shouldn't be so reckless, and when the time comes for him to use his powers, that's when he needs to use it, not just recklessly. Then we see the egg pod or whatever land on Earth, and then Dr. Robotnik suits up, and then we see Agent Stone from the first movie, who apparently now works at a coffee shop. Wow, I guess that coffee moment from the first movie, people really like that joke. So then when we see Dr. Robotnik come out of the pod, he's surrounded by a whole bunch of his drones from the last movie, as well as these new Buzz Bomber-looking drones. I gotta say, these are very frighteningly designed. I am really digging this. Then we got the first, really interesting shot of the trailer. Dr. Robotnik is in some sort of temple, and what looks to be a Chaos Emerald or the Master Emerald, but to the right, the upper right, you can see what kind of looks like the face of an owl. So this must be in some way connected to Longclaw. So maybe Longclaw's owl race guards the Master Emerald this time instead of the Echidnas. Here we see Dr. Robotnik trying to hold the emerald in his hands, and it looks too big to be a normal Chaos Emerald, because those can normally fit in the palm of a human hand. This one requires both hands, and it's definitely smaller than the Master Emerald in the games, unless you count Sonic Adventure 2, where Knuckles has the ability to shrink it and store it in his invisible pocket or whatever. Then we get a recreated moment from the end of the first movie where Tails jumps through the ring portal and he lands on the ground in the exact same shot, but this time his shoes look to be a little different, like you can see the laces on them this time, and there's some greenery around where he lands. And then I don't really know what to think about this shot, because it doesn't look as neatly rendered as it does from the first movie, from that exact same moment. Plus, it looks like they toned down the orange fur color on Tails. Just something about the facial expression just doesn't seem right, and he looks like he's just, superimposed in front of whatever background. It's not like he's actually a part of it. Yeah, hopefully they'll fix that CGI when the final movie comes out. Then we see Sonic and Tails on the tornado flying towards the green lightning cloud thing, and I just want to say that I'm really glad that they got Colleen O'Shaughnessy back to voice Tails. I feel like after the first movie, they kind of had to commit to that. Then we see the Death Egg or whatever firing these missiles, which Tails does some evasive maneuvers to evade. And I really like this shot of Sonic and his facial expression as the plane twists. That seems pretty realistic. So they avoid all the missiles except for one, which then just Sonic gets whisked away on. And I'm wondering how he survives that, or where he goes next, because I don't think there's any way he's going to get back onto the tornado. Then we see some even more interesting shot. This is probably before Robotnik encounters the Master Emerald. He nearly gets sliced by this giant axe. And if you look closely, it has more of that owl imagery on it. So yeah, this is in some way connected to Longclaw and her race. And then we see Sonic bouncing around some tunnels. I think this is the same temple as Robotnik's in. We see Sonic near this location later, so that's why I think this is the same location. And we see these giant spiky metal balls, which I guess are part of the booby traps for the temple. And then we see Maddie Wachowski and her sister from the last movie. I'm guessing she's getting married. And then this gave me major vibes from the first movie. Sonic and Tails enter this sort of log cabin place, kind of like the biker house in the first movie. And yeah, they're all dressed up, and it's so cute. And then Tails even faints when he sees a knife, and yeah, that's adorable. And this is the shot that I really want to talk about, because yeah, we see a giant green sky beam coming out of it. I'm pretty sure this is the same temple with all the owl imagery that I was talking about, but it looks a whole lot like the Echidna Temple from Sonic Adventure, and which itself was based on the real-life Temple Tikal from Guatemala. You guys know I've had the Echidna theories floating around for quite some time, and I still think we might see them in some capacity in this movie, but it seems as though this time it's the owls or whatever who protect the Master Emerald and have built these temples. Then we got Sonic on a snowboard, which looks like it's made of pieces of Robotnik's drones, maybe? I can't exactly tell, but the way he slides down the slope reminds me a lot of Sonic 3 and Knuckles' Ice Cap Zone, which was also, again, featured in Sonic Adventure. And then we see Dr. Robotnik and his drones around the same snowy location as we see these icicles hanging down in this cave, and Sonic catches a missile and then throws it back at, I'm not sure what this is that he's throwing it at. Then Sonic turns on his powers and goes full force at Knuckles, and yeah, we're going to get to the money shot in just a sec, but it looks like this is the Wachowskis' house, and looks like Knuckles has completely destroyed it trying to get to Sonic. And then here it is. Here's a close-up of Knuckles, and wow, yeah, like I said, money shot. And I don't know why, but his voice here, I don't know if it's really Idris Elba or if this is a stand-in voice, but he sounds more like Shadow from the recent Sonic games, where he's like, "Do you really think I need your power?" But we also see that, like Sonic, Knuckles has the ability to emit electricity in his own color, which, yeah, I'm not exactly sure how these anthropomorphic animals in this movie's universe are supposed to do that, or however, because we saw at the end of the last movie that Tails, as he was flying off, he left an orange dash trail, so it seems like they all have this energy effect to some degree. And then he just slams Sonic into the ground, which causes a huge burst, kind of like the EMP from the first movie that Sonic caused. And then Sonic wakes up and he's like, "Oh, wow, that really knocked me out." And then we get another shot of Knuckles before the trailer closes, and he even punches towards the camera. And again, this looks like the Wachowskis' house. You can see a hole punched through the wall that Robotnik was looking through earlier. And if you look in the background, it definitely looks like the same dining room area from the first movie. So yeah, I definitely think that this is the Wachowskis' house. But anyway, that's pretty much everything that I have to say about this trailer. Feel free to let me know in the comments any details that I missed and your thoughts on all these little Easter eggs that I found. And as always, thanks for your time and watching.